Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm in my craft room again, so you know what that means. I'm participating in a challenge hosted by Pretty Simple Sherry, and her co-host is Lisa Birmingham. And I love the idea of this collab or challenge. It's called the Upcycling Ugly Thrift Challenge. And she challenged us to go to the thrift store and find the ugliest item and bring it home and make it beautiful. So I found 3 ugly items at the thrift store and I had to choose between them. So I'm going to put pictures of the 2 that I didn't pick and then a picture of the one that I did pick. So you can maybe decide if I picked the ugliest one or not. I kind of wanted to do something that I would find useful as well. So the one that I picked and what I'm going to make it into is going to be right up my alley. So here's the pictures. This is the first item. This is the second item. And then lastly, here's the item that I'm going to make over. So let me know which item you would have chosen to make over in the comments below. I'm going to have a link to the playlist in my description box, as well as links for Sherry's and Lisa's channels. So be sure and check them out and give them some love. Are you ready to see how I make over my ugly thrift item? Then let's get started. This picture is definitely not anything that I would ever choose for my house. I did think it was really ugly. And the thing that really was promising about it was the beautiful frame. So I decided I could work with it. It was $5.99, which I thought was a very high price, but my husband pointed out the frame is gorgeous, and to buy the frame you would spend way more than that. So here's the back of the frame. It has this cardboard over it, so I'm going to be tearing all that off so that I can get to the actual picture and make it into something beautiful. So my first step in the makeover was to take my utility knife and very carefully slice along the inside of the frame. I want to get that paper backing off so that I can get to the actual picture. There I'm showing you that I found staples all around where the picture was attached. That's my least favorite thing to deal with. At this point, I'm simply taking my screwdriver and bending the staples up so that I can get the picture out. There's also a little bit more of the paper backing that I peeled off as I went along. After bending up all the staples out of the way, I started to try to pry the picture out gently so that I didn't damage it. Success! I got it out! And now I'm going to just check out the back of it, and I've decided that it's intact, and I decided that it'll be just fine to paint over and make my new picture. Then I decided just to peel off the extra paper that was in the way. I got off as much as I could without damaging that board. Here's how I left it to start my project. I used a white matte paint, and I am going to use my oldest chippy brush, and I just want to dry brush that frame, taking some paint on the brush and dabbing it off onto a paper towel, and then it will hit the high points of the frame and leave some of the color underneath to show through in the low points. I loved the look that I got with that, and it was super easy. I also took the same brush and painted the edges off camera with the same paint. Next, I painted that same white matte paint onto the back of the picture. I used this huge foam brush thinking I was going to save myself time, but it was just too cumbersome and it didn't work out well. So I did put a second coat on, and I used a regular size foam brush, and it worked a whole lot better. So 2 coats of the white paint. While I'm finishing up the white paint, I wanted to mention that my name is Carol and the name of my channel is My Blessed Nest, and I certainly would appreciate it if you enjoy my content if you would subscribe to my channel. I wanted my picture to look like it was beadboard, so I took a ruler and I measured 1.5 inches across and made little marks, and then it was a yardstick, and I laid it out and I took just a black colored pencil and then I made the straight lines all the way across. The last one didn't quite come out to 1.5 inches, so I just did whatever was left. It was close. I found an awesome link on Pinterest that had a bunch of free patterns that you could print out, and I found this awesome pickup truck with a pumpkin in the bed. So I printed that out, and here you see me rubbing my pencil all over the outline of the pickup truck and everything that I want to transfer. And then after I have all of it penciled over, I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to trace the pattern from the top side, and then that lead pencil will give me a pattern on my picture to follow to paint. Hopefully. We'll see. So here's what it looked like. I was all done. I did not transfer the big pumpkin. I decided I wanted to do something different. I thought it looked kind of silly with that huge pumpkin taking up the whole bed. So here I am just pressing down hard and tracing out the parts that I wanted to transfer to my picture. Using this method turned out okay. I much prefer using my transfer paper. I get a much better picture to paint, but I might use it for just a small little project sometime, and it might depend on what I'm transferring it to. For the rest of my picture, I just found some fonts that I liked on Pinterest, and I simply held my piece of paper up to my iPad screen and I traced the letters that I wanted. I took different letters from different ideas and different sayings and put them all together into my own unique sign. Here you'll see I switched over to the graphite paper because it was so much easier for me to see what I had traced. Once I had all of my sign traced out, I used some black matte paint and started painting in my letters. The tip here is to use a fine paintbrush. For the pickup truck, I used apple barrel Wedgwood green. I used it as is, and then I also used it with a little bit of white to make a different color for part of the pickup truck. You'll see how that turns out in a minute. I just continued on filling in my pattern with the paint colors of my choice. Were you surprised I didn't paint the pickup truck red? My husband and my mom sure were surprised. I thought the green would look really nice for fall. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I decided to paint some smaller pumpkins in the bed of the pickup truck. For the pumpkins, I chose apple barrel pumpkin orange, and then for the stems, I used apple barrel chocolate bar. I did add a little bit of white to the pumpkin orange because I thought it was just a little bit too vibrant. When I finished painting everything that I had traced, I thought the picture needed just a little something more. So remember the pumpkin that was in the bed of the pickup truck on the original pattern? I traced it and painted that on off camera. I figured you'd seen just about enough painting by this time. I let the painting dry well overnight, and then I used an eraser to erase any pencil marks from my tracing that still showed up. I also erased the lines from the beadboard that went through the center of the tires. I didn't think that looked good. Here I am going back to those staples that I hate. I decided to remove them and go a different route with how I would secure my picture into the frame because I want to use this for other seasons. Those staples were really hard to remove, so I let my husband take over. He was willing and I was ready for him to take over and finish it up. It was a group effort between hubby and I, but we finally got all those staples out. And now I'm ready to put the picture into the frame. Since I obviously didn't care what the back of the picture looked like, I decided to use masking tape to secure my picture into the frame. So I just put 4 strips, one on each side of the frame, so it will be very easy to take off when I put in a different picture for a different season. Here's a reminder of what my ugly thrift looked like, and here's the finished product of how I turned it into something beautiful for my home. It's still just a little bit early for me to decorate for fall, but as I was taking video for you of my finished project in the hallway, I got an idea that it might just look great there hanging on the wall. And then I could change out the pictures seasonally. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of my makeover. What's coming up next? Here's a quick little reminder about my next collab coming up Saturday. Thursday, July 30th, I'll be participating with Nicole at Nesting Haven in Christmas in July. I got some really awesome items and I can't wait to show them to you. And then on Friday, I'll be doing the Get It Done Challenge with Nicole Northgarden. So don't forget to come back for those videos. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I'll link that below. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.